Hi there. Welcome back to the Vibe English podcast. This is where we help you speak English with more confidence, clarity, and comfort every single day. Today, I want to share something personal. Something that might resonate with you if you've ever felt frustrated or stuck while learning English. It's about my own struggle to learn English, the challenges I faced, and the small, powerful steps that helped me move forward. Are you ready? Let's dive in. In this episode, I'll walk you through my journey. Why learning English felt so hard. What kept me going, even when I wanted to give up. And how I found ways to make progress, even on the toughest days. So grab a cozy spot. Take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders. And let's get started. Section 1. Why learning English felt like a mountain to climb. Let's be real, learning English is tough. For me, it wasn't just about memorizing vocabulary or understanding grammar rules. It was about feeling like I'd never sound natural, like I'd always be stuck in my head, translating every word from my native language. I remember feeling embarrassed when I mispronounced words, or when I couldn't find the right thing to say in a conversation. I'd freeze, my heart racing, thinking, what if they laugh? What if I sound foolish? The biggest challenge was confidence, or really, the lack of it. I'd study for hours, but when it came time to speak, I felt like a beginner. I'd compare myself to others who seemed to speak so effortlessly. And that made me feel even worse. Maybe you felt this too. The frustration of knowing words but not being able to use them. Or the fear of making mistakes in front of others. The truth is, learning a language isn't just about studying. It's about overcoming those mental barriers. And finding ways to practice, even when it feels uncomfortable. Section 2. The moments that kept me going. So, what changed? How did I keep going when I wanted to quit? It started with small moments of courage. One day, I decided to stop waiting for the perfect time to practice. I realized I didn't need a teacher. I didn't need a classroom. I didn't even need a native speaker to improve. I could start right where I was. With what I had, my own voice, and a willingness to try. Here's how I began. First, I started talking to myself in English. Yes, it felt strange at first. I'd stand in front of the mirror and say simple things like, "Good morning, you can do this. Let's learn one new word today." It was awkward, but it was safe. No one was judging me. I could make mistakes and keep going. Second, I narrated my day in English. While making breakfast, I'd say, "I'm cracking an egg. Now I'm adding salt. The pan is hot." It wasn't fancy, but it helped me connect English to my real life. It made the language feel less like a school subject and more like something I could use every day. Third, I wrote down my thoughts in a simple English journal. At the end of the day, I'd write 1 or 2 sentences about what happened. Today was tough, but I learned a new phrase. This helped me practice expressing myself without pressure. Over time, I started saying those sentences out loud, and it felt like I was building a bridge between my thoughts and my voice. Section 3. Overcoming the fear of mistakes. One of the hardest parts of my struggle was the fear of getting things wrong. I thought every sentence had to be perfect, or it wasn't worth saying. But I learned something important. Mistakes are part of the process. Every time I mispronounced a word or forgot a grammar rule, I was still learning. I wasn't failing. I was practicing. To help with this, I started asking myself simple questions in English every day. In the morning, I'd say, "What's one thing I want to do well today?" At night, I'd reflect, "What went well? What can I improve?" These questions gave me something to say, even when my vocabulary was limited. They also helped me focus on progress, not perfection. Another trick was shadowing. I'd listen to a podcast or a YouTube video in English, pause after a sentence, and repeat it out loud, trying to match the speaker's tone and rhythm. This helped me improve my pronunciation and feel more natural when speaking. It was like having a conversation with someone who didn't expect me to reply perfectly. Section 4. The power of small, consistent steps. Looking back, the biggest lesson from my struggle is this: small, consistent steps make all the difference. You don't need to study for hours. You don't need to speak fluently right away. You just need to show up every day, even for a few minutes. Talking to myself for 5 minutes in the morning, narrating my actions while cooking, or answering one simple question in English. These tiny habits added up. Over time, I noticed changes. I stopped translating in my head as much. Words came faster. I felt less shy about speaking, even in front of others. I wasn't fluent overnight, but I was moving forward. And every small win, like saying a full sentence without stumbling, or understanding a joke in English, gave me the confidence to keep going. Here's an example. A year ago, I could barely order food in English without panicking. But after months of practicing alone, I walked into a cafe and ordered a coffee in English without thinking twice. It wasn't perfect, but it felt natural. That moment made every awkward mirror conversation worth it. If you're struggling with English, I want you to know this. You're not alone, and you're already good enough to start. You don't need to wait for a better accent, more vocabulary, or the perfect opportunity. Your voice, your effort, and your courage are enough. Here's a challenge for you. After this podcast, find a quiet moment. Look in the mirror and say, "I'm learning English, and I'm proud of myself for trying." It might feel silly, but say it anyway. Then smile. That small act of speaking kindly to yourself is where the real progress begins. For a final practice suggestion, try this shadowing exercise. Replay this podcast from the start. Listen to one sentence. Pause and repeat it out loud. Match my tone and rhythm as best you can. Do this for just 5 to 10 minutes a day. No pressure. No perfection. Just progress. Thank you for joining me today. Learning English is a journey, and every step you take is proof of your strength. Keep talking, keep trying, and keep believing in yourself. Until next time, this is the Vibe English Podcast, and I'll see you in your next conversation. Bye for now.